Hello everyone, welcome back. So, following the success of my last video detailing tips on buying fragrances on eBay, here are some tips for people selling fragrances on eBay. Number 1. People selling fake Creed Aventus. Don't forget to put the sarcastic comment, "grab yourself a bargain" at the end of your listing, just to rub salt in our wounds. Number 2. People selling fragrances in the Middle East or exotic countries. Only include one photo of your fragrance and make sure you take it on an Instamatic camera from the 1970s. And finally, number 3. To all sellers out there, make sure you list your fragrance as Eau de Toilette stroke aftershave, just to avoid any confusion. Hello everyone, so Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum has now been released here in the UK, so I'm going to a nearby shopping centre with a lot of different stores. Hopefully one of them will have it and hopefully I can get a sample and give you my first impressions on this new release. Okay, so the original Eau de Toilette has been a huge commercial success, and the notes in that one, fragrance notes, bergamot, ambroxan, geranium, pepper, lavender, vetiver and patchouli. The new version has some the same but some new notes. So we see here the additional notes in this one are Sichuan pepper, nutmeg, star anise and vanilla. So it promises to be rather sweeter and a little bit more exotic smelling. Let's see how it actually smells in real life. The price on this one is £62 for 50ml and £83 for 100ml, so it's a little bit more than the Eau de Toilette. Okay guys, so yeah, they had it in Boots the chemist there, and I got some on a strip, sprayed some on myself, so I'm wearing it, and I got a free sample too. So we're going to check this one out. Now I've just sprayed it 1 minute ago, and my very first impression is it definitely smells very similar to the original. You will know that DNA is in there, but it's a little bit less citrusy and sharp, and a little bit more warm and sweet, but it's not dramatically different to the original so far, I think. Okay, so that was yesterday afternoon when I first tried this one out. I wore it for the rest of the day, so into the evening, and got some first thoughts going about what I think about this fragrance. So I ended up with 2 samples here, so I can give this one a bit of a go. And I've got, of course, the original Eau de Toilette. So let's just do a quick comparison between the two. So the original Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, do 2 sprays on there, just to remind myself, really zingy, fresh bergamot opening, and that kind of soapy, fresh, modern, masculine, slightly metallic overall smell. Very pleasant, very modern, doesn't really conjure up any particular image of a type of person or mood or occasion. It's a great all-rounder, but it's perhaps lacking any real compelling aspect to the scent. It's a very pleasant all-round, some would say generic, or let's say mass-pleasing, well done, mainstream, middle-of-the-road fragrance. It's a good one, but to me it doesn't excite me, but it's okay. Eau de Parfum version then, of course, has the same kind of packaging, which we can see there. It just says Eau de Parfum at the bottom, and I've got my little sample here. So let's put a little bit of that one on the other hand, and I'll tell you the differences and what I think overall of the Eau de Parfum. Yeah, okay, so for me, you really can tell that they are from the same family and it's the same DNA in there. It's very much a similar fragrance, the new Sauvage EDP. The original Eau de Toilette is a little bit sharper and more fresh and zingy. This one, they've described it actually as, let's see what they say, the powerful freshness of Sauvage exudes new mysterious and sensual facets. Spicy and juicy bergamot unfurls a woody trail enveloped in vanilla absolute. Yes, well, vanilla is a sweet thing. It's a little bit sweeter, a little bit softer. The edges are less sharp. It's a very piercing opening and to some extent quite a piercing smell overall, the original Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Parfum, slightly smoother, softer, a little bit sweeter, and just a little bit of maybe a little bit more spiciness in there. But not that much, okay? The similarity between these 2 fragrances, I would say, is very similar to the similarity between Bleu de Chanel Original Eau de Toilette and Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. It's that kind of thing. Sometimes you could easily mistake one for the other, I think, and it's going to be the same case here. A little bit more grown up, the new one, I think, and a little bit less cocky, maybe. So perhaps for a more mature person, you might find this one more to your liking. Some people have said the Eau de Toilette has an almost headache-inducing element in that piercing opening, and this Eau de Parfum version, I think, does smooth that out. So if you kind of wanted to like, or almost liked, the original and found it just a little bit too sharp for your liking, then you might like this. It is perhaps arguably an improved. Certainly a different version, different enough perhaps to own both, or if you'd had the original and quite liked it but you've almost emptied your bottle thinking about buying another one, this provides an alternative that just changes things up a little bit more of a grown-up, mature aspect. They did say mysterious in there, and there's something a little bit more, or let's say less obvious. You think, I wonder what that is, almost a sweet, soft, powdery element in the new one. So my first impression is that I like the new one. I probably prefer it slightly to the original because it's just got a little bit less of that annoying soapy metallic element. It does still have that, but it's toned down and tempered and mixed with a little bit more sweetness. It's got nutmeg in. There's a little bit of that kind of spiciness. And it's a little bit more interesting. So a good release, definitely. Performance-wise, it seemed to perform really quite well, actually. I was quite conscious of it, but I'm not really going to rate performance in a first impressions. We know the original's really strong, so we would hope this would be at least as good. The worry is, will they now reformulate to the Eau de Toilette because they've got an Eau de Parfum version? We know Dior has done that sometimes when there's been Eau de Parfums, and then there's reformulations a lot with Dior. So let's hope that doesn't happen. This one, doesn't quite sit alongside other Eau de Parfum releases like Dior Homme Parfum from the same house, or the Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum, not to be confused with Sauvage. Both the versions that have existed of that have been really good and interesting, strong fragrances. This one, very much a true flanker that just tweaks the original Eau de Toilette very slightly, is very pleasant, but perhaps not wildly exciting. So try it out if you can. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this new release, if you've tried it and if you like it. As ever, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, whatever we're doing in life, let's project. Bye bye.